everyone, and welcome to another HBCU in LA Fall virtual tour session. I am so excited today because you all get a chance actually to meet and engage with some of our industry partners. This is a handful of them, but we're really excited to be able to continue to share this amazing work that we're doing, that we want you all to be a part of, and to continue to keep spreading the word to, your friends, your colleagues, and all of those out there that are looking to launch a career in the entertainment industry. We're going to give a brief overview of the program, and then we're going to move right into our recruitment, meet the recruiters session, and you'll get a chance to engage and learn a whole lot more to come. So Lisa, let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. Okay, I love seeing all of your faces. Man, everybody's got faces up there. A lot of times I get a bunch of names. I'm a big person on faces, so happy to see y'all. Go ahead, Lisa, I'm sorry.
It's okay, just a few housekeeping things. So this session is being recorded so that you guys will have a copy of it and be able to watch it later. In the coming weeks, we'll be able to send that out. And so we're also going to do a Q&A at the end of today. So you guys can send me questions directly. My name is Lisa K. Satchel. You can message me directly with your questions, and we'll be sure to make sure we get as many as we can in. And just as a reminder, stay on mute throughout this, program so that we can make sure we're hearing all the panelists perfectly and make sure that they can get every question answered. And so moving forward, I want to show you guys, we have our website is live and has a lot of fun things on it. So this is our virtual tour page. You guys can check it out, get signed up for our upcoming events. Our next event next month is going to be an alumni workshop. We have our alumni come through. They keep it really real and just are really honest with you guys about what this program has to offer and how they've grown from it. And then our final session in December will be just an interview workshop on how to land your internship once you get into the program, fingers crossed, and things like that. And we also want to make sure you guys are clear on how to navigate our website. So you go to eicop.org, and let's say you just want to learn more about the internship program besides what you hear today. You go to the interns tab and just, see a video from our inaugural cohort, the steps of the process, all that good stuff. And when you're ready to apply, you can go ahead and to apply now. And you'll see how to apply, all this good stuff, all the requirements and things we're already going to mention today. And the selection process, all that good stuff. And when you're ready, just click login. It'll take you to the login page and you can get all set up. So those are just some housekeeping things I wanted to take care of. And now Miss Stacy is going to go ahead and just tell you guys more about the program and all the great things it has to offer and give you guys a little presentation. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great job, Lisa. Whenever her screen share comes up, I'll talk to you. You don't want me to just talk random. So welcome. So I'm going to go through a little presentation with you. Obviously, the website really has everything, but I like to add a face and a voice to it and allow you an opportunity to actually meet me and hear from our partner organizations. So next slide, Lisa. That's who I am. I think the bio tells you enough about me, but I did found this program and I'm happy to be here chatting with you. That's me on a much better hair day. Next slide. Now I like to always start these sessions with a little story. And the story I love to tell is the fact that you never know where your internship is going to land you, right? This young lady was an intern at Disney and worked with Disney over the course of the summer as a part of their post-production team. And the thing that I love about this young lady is that, she was encouraged to go to every networking event, to be engaged and be involved. And as a result of it, she was at a function and the crew from Princess and the Frog actually walked up to her and said, "You would make a great princess." And so she was like, okay, shrugged her shoulders and went home. And the next day she went to work and they whisked her into a room and began drafting her as the reference for the princess. So I always say, you never know where your internship is going to land you. She's in the basement of the animation building at Disney and lo and behold, becomes the face of Princess Tiana. And as we all know, that's Disney's first African-American princess. But the coolest thing about that story is that that happens to be my daughter. And who would have ever thunk in a million years that my kid would be immortalized as a Disney princess? But that is my Jamie. And that is one of the images, which kind of shows you exactly who she is. And so it's so funny that those curls you see on the side is the fact that they were saying, like, does that normally happen? Do you purposely make those happen? She's like, no, I just scrunch it up in the morning and it falls like this during the day. But that's my girl. And it's just crazy when you walk by a big billboard and see your kid up on a thing. And so that's my Jamie. So like I say, you never know where your internship is going to land you. And I always like to start these presentations with that little story. All right. So our mission is simple. It is to create access and opportunity for you to gain inroads into this industry. We're all about building and establishing a diverse pipeline. We give students valuable hands-on work experience in an immersive environment. And it is for you really to provide, for us to provide you with a pathway where you can actually leverage and launch your career. At the end of the day, if we're not moving you from experience to a career, we're not doing our job. So our intent is that you will be hired at the end of the program. And we have students that are eligible for hire upon graduation. And right now we are very, very proud to continue to say that we have a 90% conversion rate from intern to hire. So students that are actually getting these jobs and getting internships are either getting extended, they're getting offers for the next summer, or they're actually getting a live job offer. So we're really proud of what we do, and just shows that, you know, it's working. All right. So about the program, 8 to 10 weeks, we say that roughly because we have so many different partners with varying sizes and lengths of programs. Essentially, your internship is as long as whatever that host company's internship program is. So if it's 10 weeks, you're 10 weeks, or if it's 12 weeks, it's 12 weeks. But on average, it's 10 to 12 weeks, and it starts typically late May or the 1st of June and runs through the 1st or 2nd week of August. We provide all of the housing. We eliminate the barrier of you having to find housing and be able to afford to live in LA by giving you a community and housing for your summer internship stay in Los Angeles. We also provide professional development and speaker series throughout the summer, which are invaluable because whether you're interested on the creative side or the corporate side or finance, legal, whatever, you're going to hear from different folks across varying scopes of the business so that you get a full rounded view of what this industry has to offer. And also, most importantly, is for you to understand how everything interconnects. So we kick off the program with our HBCU Hollywood Welcome Week. Now, this is an opportunity and time for us to really, get you acclimated, right? Take you behind the scenes. Oftentimes we'll have an organization that will host the students for a day. So I know Disney has done it a few times, and Warner Brothers will take them on a VIP tour. But then we'll also do panel discussions and sessions with the students. The application period is live now, as you can see, and we will close December 20th. So don't wait till the last minute to apply. Make sure you get in there and get things going. These are just some of our industry partners that have participated, supported the program. And we're really proud that we're able to, have engaged so many different industry leaders for you all to be able to have a place where you can land an internship and ultimately a job. So I always like to just kind of give a quick overview of all the various categories, right? Sometimes people are just so siloed and they think only one scope of business. And what I want you to see is that we're providing opportunities with organizations that have reach in so many different areas. And this is just a snapshot, right? Obviously, it's not all inclusive. But what I like to say about this is that oftentimes you're thinking about, I'm going to major in this, right? And then you end up talking to colleagues and they're like, oh, we're doing this and that and that. Oh, I think I want to switch my major. So in the industry, a lot of times you think you may want to be in a certain area, But once you get into these organizations, you begin to see all these various business units. And you're like, oh my God, like I love what they do over there, or, this is really good. And so you make a transition. In the beginning of the program, I do a workshop and I talk about Hollywood's coveted inner circle. Your job really is to find your way inside of this industry. Once you're inside of this industry, you then have the advantage, right? To then leverage and move and transition your career however you want it to go. And I often like to say, like, there's no ceiling here, right? You can continue to learn and grow and expand across so many different areas. So this is just a snapshot. As I mentioned, we have our welcome week, but a really big thing that we're doing that we're really excited about is continuing with our HBCU in LA Hollywood Summit. So last summer we did the summit and I had over 700 folks joining us, but we were really excited. It was 4 days of curated sessions around what this industry is. It really was to bring the HBCU community and the Hollywood industry together for the very first time. And so we're going to do that again next summer. Our goal and our hope is that we will do it live and in person, but we will also have a hybrid model because we know everybody will not be able to travel, but we're going to get planning on that and really look forward to welcoming the HBCU community, our new cohort to LA, and just really having a great time. So we often do projects. So we have either a capstone project, but I guess everybody's favorite is our film project. So the students collaborate to produce a short film over the course of the summer. This is our crew from this summer. We were fortunate enough that we actually had the opportunity where they produced a short film virtually and in person. So we started virtually, where the students got to pitch as writers, directors, producers, whatever the role. And then we chose the one script idea to take pen to paper. And that student then went through the writing process of putting together a shooting draft, and we shot the film. But what was cool is that, like I said, they did it in what I think will somewhat become the norm in this industry now when it comes to content creation, is that there will be a hybrid, right? Some of it will be remote and some of it will be in person. And so they got that experience of actually learning remotely. And then we flew a crew of 10 to Los Angeles to actually shoot the film over a course of 10 days. So it was fantastic, phenomenal. They are actually right now wrapping up post-production on the film. So we're going to get ready for a big screening and invite. And we haven't quite put all the details together yet, or let's just say we don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but we will plan a great screening for everyone to see this amazing content. So that's our crew from this summer. And so if you get into this program and you find yourself in a corporate role, but you've got this creative juice, we like to say within the program, we're going to allow you a space to share your voice, right? Bring a story to life, be a part of the project of production through the program. So let's talk about application requirements. 1-page resume, guys, because what we have is volume, okay? We don't want to read a book. We don't have time to read a book. So it's 1-page resume. We want 2 letters of recommendation. Academia, someone who can speak to you from a professional standpoint. Maybe you volunteered for an organization, but someone who knows you and can speak about you. 300-word personal statement, right? Who are you? Why are you interested in this program? And what benefit do you hope that it brings to your ultimate professional career? GPA is 3.0. We are not hard fast on that, but it is what we want. If there are, circumstances around why it dropped, or, you had to maintain a job and things were tough, whatever, if an explanation comes with it and your package is strong, you will still be considered. So don't not apply because you don't have the GPA. Sometimes people's packages and everything else just is so stellar that we will make an exception on that. So you can't get it if you don't apply. So please, please, please apply. All right. Meet the recruiters session. I am so excited about this. So my part is over. you guys can certainly, if you got questions on things, give it to Lisa. I can answer some of those when we open up the Q&A as well. But I want to give as much time as possible because we have a nice group of industry leaders that are joining us and partners. So I'm really excited. They come across all different scopes, right? They're HR, they're talent acquisition, they're diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you guys get used to the acronym DEI. You hear that a lot. There's a lot going on in that space. So what I'm going to do is allow each of you to introduce yourselves. I don't know how everybody is. I was going to say go alphabetically by your first name. So Allie, that would mean you would be first. And then we would have Erica. And then we'll have, is it Cameron?
It is, yes, Cameron.
I did it right. And then Julia, and then is it Sade?
Shadi.
Shadi. Oh, I knew I was going to mess that one up. Okay, Shadi, it looks too easy, right? I tried to add some twist to it. And then we'll do Tiffany, and then we'll get to Shauna. And thank you guys again for joining us. So, represented today is, oh my goodness, let me see here. NBCU, we got WarnerMedia, we got Endeavor Content, Wildcard, ICM Partners, Fox Entertainment. And so, and I mean, NBCU and Fox, I mean, obviously they have so many legs and arms, but there's just so much we can cover in this short amount of time. So Allie, I'm gonna let you kick it off and share with our students a little bit about you and tell us about NBC Universal.
Cool. Hey, y'all, can everyone hear me okay? Perfect. Love to hear it. So I am Allie Robeson. I am an early careers recruiter here at NBC Universal, primarily supporting all things entertainment. So Universal Filmed Entertainment Group, television entertainment, and our Universal Studio Group. And I'm part of a larger early careers team where we really focus on an incredible candidate experience, and intern experience. We have like two parts to our team, right? So recruitment where I sit, and then intern experience. So recruitment ensures that you really have a great experience from application to offer, and that you have that guidance along the way. And our intern experience ensures that you have a great onboarding and internship with us once you become an employee at NBCU. And for our actual program and experience, we do recruitment 3 times a year. So we follow the semester calendar. We do spring, summer, and fall. And, like Stacy mentioned, we have opportunities that span a wide variety of functions and businesses. So everything from like production and development to graphic design to business affairs and legal, marketing and communications, right? We welcome all majors. We have vast opportunities sitting across, film, NBC Sports, NBC News, right? So anything that you see with one of our cable brands, Bravo, USA, Sci-Fi, Oxygen, to like our Peacock logo. So we have opportunities that kind of fall in line. And for the experience part, when you're an intern with us, so our team and managers encourage you to attend professional development events. So this can range from resume building to interview prep to impactful communication or navigating networking. So really setting you up for success long-term in this industry. And we also encourage you to grow your professional network by providing opportunities for you to connect with your peers and fellow interns, but also people across the company. And towards the middle or end of your internship with us, our recruiters connect in with each of you to get to know you even more for potential full-time entry-level opportunities post-graduation. So we really are a true pipeline program with our internship program and also our PAGE program too, but I'll focus mainly on our internship program. We also encourage the extension of our intern semester over semester so that you can have an even more immersive experience with us, take on elevated tasks, and really kind of get to know your team even more. So there really is kind of a true investment into our early career space here. We were very, very fortunate to withstand our internship program throughout the last 18 months. and have continued to break down barriers of entry for folks to gain more access to our opportunities. So we are still operating in a remote internship capacity for 90% of our interns. I'm not quite sure what the future holds for that. I think that's the $1 million question, right, for everyone right now. But I think, you know, all of this really speaks to the company-wide investment into you as young talent and into our early career space. And then I want to touch on culture a little bit too, right? So you'll hear a lot of people refer to our company culture as uniquely NBCU. And I think that couldn't really be more true. So we truly value the perspective that our employees, this includes interns, right? You're not just an intern. So I want everyone to realize that too, right? And we really value, you know, everyone bringing that value to their job every single day. And I want to flash back like a little bit, if that's okay, if we have enough time, to kind of briefly mention that I began my career in higher education, you know, not knowing that I would ever join NBC Universal or thinking that I ever could. I did not, you know, grow up in an area that was close to the entertainment industry, right? Like I wasn't really immersed in that. But, you know, before joining entertainment, I didn't know that I could. Maybe this is similar to many of you, but I heard a lot of stereotypes, right, about what the entertainment industry would be. You know, I needed to know someone to get in. I needed to have specific experience. I needed to have like 10 years of experience to get an internship, right? So all of those things, and I think it's easy to think that every place fits that mold. But just through my lived experiences here, going through my own recruitment process to be here and now being a recruiter, I really think our company does a good job about kind of shattering that mold. You know, while I don't have the typical entertainment background, I have met a lot of people who do at the company, but I've also met a lot of people like myself who don't. And I think that's what gives us the opportunity to be incredibly creative and innovative in how we approach our work each day. So I say that just to say that, you know, internships are learning opportunities. You know, Stacy mentioned this a little bit. It's okay to change your mind about what you want to do for a career once you experience something new, and that there are people cheering for your success here, right? So I want you to remember that regardless of who's talking to you today, like we're all here because we're cheering for your success in the entertainment industry. And I think that's important for you to remember. So just, you know, focus on the experience that you do have and the value that you do hold, and really find confidence in that as you navigate the industry. It can be hard, it really can, but just kind of find confidence in what you do have and what you do bring to the table. So hopefully that didn't go too long and gives a little bit more insight, you know, into our company, into our program. You know, shameless plug that spring 2022 opportunities are open now. So if you are interested in that, please do apply, you know, through our careers webpage. And we did host an Instagram Live last night as well. So through our NBCU interns Instagram page, you can check that out as well. So I guess, Stacy, kind of back to you to go to the next person.
Yeah, no, that was excellent. I was going to say, be sure and mention your spring opportunities. And even for those of you that are on this call that have already kind of started the process, you know, of the application, I keep telling everyone to make sure that you get your personal statement and your resume in that portal as soon as possible, because what we want to do, in addition to our, you know, alumni and those that are reapplying that were from last year, or even our cohort from 2021, we are also looking at some of these standouts that are already applying so that we can also flag you to some of our industry partners for those spring opportunities. And, you know, those are remote. A great way to build your resume and get you ready for summer, but, you know, to gain experience. So be sure and get started ASAP. I keep telling people that. Put that resume in there, you know, let us see it early. All right. All right. I think we're moving on to Erica.
Yes, thanks so much, Stacy and Ali. So I'm going to do my best. My colleague, Paul, unfortunately was unable to make it this evening. He oversees actually the training and internship program. but I'm going to do my best to give you his insight as well as mine. So I oversee the talent acquisition function and diversity inclusion for ICM Partners. ICM Partners is an entertainment company, and we provide our clients with various business deals and make sure that we put our best efforts to provide our clients with the absolute utmost professionalism, and also to be able to package deals for them as well. So we have about 15 different departments that we provide for our internships, as well as also recruit for. So I'm going to read you a little blurb that Paul provided for us and go from there. So this year's program was definitely unique. As we hosted our first virtual program due to the global pandemic. It was equally educational, rewarding experience as it was in our past years. Our internship program is highly competitive and is accomplished. Our primary goal is for you to receive an invaluable learning experience. Our interns, first and foremost, are here to learn about what it means to be an agent or executive and have the absolute talent agency experience and operates with excellence. So just to give you some insight and background, it's a 4-week program, and we actually host a summer program specifically. So our partnerships go throughout any of our 15 departments. So you may be placed in a talent department, a publishing department, unscripted, scripted. There are various and mixed different structured programs that we offer for our internships within our agency and our training opportunities. So you will be led through weekly seminars through each of our actual agents and our employees. So you'll get not only a back end, but also front end opportunity, which I think is going to be very important in how you really see and gauge exactly how it is to work in an agency. You'll be partnered with various agents, assistants, and coordinators. And what's really interesting about this position, and I love to partner with Paul about this, is that we create certain projects on a weekly basis and assignments so that these particular interns are actually able to understand what it takes to really go through a contract as an agent with their client, what it takes to actually wheel and deal a motion picture with a particular studio, what it takes actually to be able to communicate to a client or to their manager in regards to really pitching a deal, specifically maybe for a comedy tour or for a concert. So we really want to make sure that you're not just immersed in the back end perspective, but really the day in the life of what it takes to be an agent. So we kick off this program in the spring as far as our open opportunities for applications. And then what we do is we actually go through an intense interview process. And that means that you're going to be partnering with myself and my team. We go through an assessment process from a culture perspective. We really want to get to know where you would fit most best within the organization and make sure it's a great opportunity and partnership for you and that particular department as well. We also then partner you with 3 agents to really do a deep dive and understand out of those particular departments that you find interest in, where you're more synergized with as well. So once you're actually coupled with a particular department, you're able to really learn from those coordinators and agents during your time. During the internship program, you will also be partnering with Paul in the training department. Within that particular department, during training, you will actually be going through your new hire orientation. So what that looks like if you were to be hired in the organization. And what we do with our new hires, if you decide to join the organization as an assistant, which is the first step into the organization, through that trajectory to become an agent, you'll actually go through what that looks like in a day to life. So you'll spend 2 weeks really of your 4-week program learning exactly the systems, how it is to roll a call, how it is to talk to a particular studio. You even might be able to have a chance to talk to particular clients of ours, actually shadowing those agents as they're going through calls with their clients as well. So we really want to make sure that you get a hands-on experience and opportunity to learn about ICM's history, departments, leaders, and executives. to do a meet and greet with those agents with each of those 15 departments. You will have a 30-minute meet and greet with the entire group, or I should say cohort, during that time. And then also be able to understand exactly what we represent from a culture perspective. And you'll spend a day with me going through our culture, our ERGs, which is our employment resource groups, and understanding exactly how we decide to really gauge exactly which clients we work with, and also how we recruit within our organization. So just want to give you an insight regarding our program and process. Again, our program opens in the spring. Our actual kickoff, I believe, is first part of July this year. We're still working through the details, but we definitely are excited about this program that we've launched. We've revamped it, obviously knowing that we are going through such a virtual time right now with most organizations, but we're working through the pandemic as much as we can, and we're hoping to be back in the office first part of the year. So with that said, back to you, Stacy.
Awesome. Great overview. You did a great job. Tell Paul I said hello.
I will. I'm so sorry. I'm getting over a cold, so I bear with me unless I'm stretching my voice here.
You did a great job. All right. Cameron?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Stacy. So yes, my name is Cameron. I am a university relations recruiter at WarnerMedia. And so just to tell you a little bit about us. So WarnerMedia is really an entertainment and media company that has a wide ranging portfolio of some pretty well-known brands, from studios and networks to direct to consumer platforms to news and sports, and of course to our international presence as well. Just to name a few of those, be HBO, HBO Max, Warner Brothers, DC, Turner Sports, CNN, and so many more if we keep going. But overall, I definitely have to say that, our focus is on storytelling and driving those meaningful connections through those brands. So our internship program definitely plays an important role in that for us. We do have internships available across the company and with all of our brands, ranging from, production to technology to marketing to finance and just so many more, such a very large variety of those. And one of the things that all of our interns have in common is that you are working on business critical projects. We really give you the ability to make an impact, and your ideas are heard and put into practice as interns. I always like to highlight our HBO Max TikTok account. Hopefully everyone's following it. If you're not, go follow it, where our interns have actually played an integral role in the ideation and actually making of TikTok videos. So it's a really awesome account where, you can see intern ideas actually put into work. But overall, our university relations team is actually part of the greater early careers team at WarnerMedia. So one of our goals as a whole team is to strengthen our pipeline of early career talent and convert interns to hires. So for post-grads or people getting close to graduation, there's even more opportunity to develop your career at the company too. But for our internship program, we do have some.
Sorry.
It happens. We do have sessions in the spring, fall, and summer. Applications are currently open for spring internships, but they will be coming down at the end of October. So be sure to get those applications in, and you can check out all of them on the career site. But some of the highlights, of our intern sessions would definitely be our mentorship program, our executive speaker series, which in this virtual environment has been, if there's a positive side to all of this, it's that we've been able to open up these great series to all the interns in our program rather than being, by location. We also have, some various professional development courses and networking opportunities, all of these being specifically created and only available to our interns. But you also have access to some other fun perks, provided by the company, especially through our BRGs, the business resource groups, who they really do an amazing job of bringing some diverse events to the company. as well as our diversity outreach team. I have to give them a shout out as well because they do an awesome job of that. But we also have exclusive employee screenings, swag, everybody loves swag, and a bunch of other fun perks too. But I can keep going, but I'll stop there. So I hope to see your applications for spring, and just thank you again for having me here today.
Unmute yourself, Stacy. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Cameron. That was a mouthful, but hey, you know, that's what we have to do. We have to spit out as much as we can in a short window of time. But I have to say, you guys are doing really good. You know, I haven't had anybody doing the 10 minutes, which sometimes you have those things, but you guys are excellent. All right. Thank you for that. When does your spring application open, you said as well?
They are, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Those
Okay.
are open until the end of October.
Okay, great. All right. Next up, we have Julia.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm gonna have a 2 for 2 because Shadi is on my team, so it's 2 for 1 for us. I'm the HR manager at Wildcard. Shadi is our recruiter. I'm gonna let her give the intro about the company, and then I'll talk a little bit about our internship.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? So Wildcard is one of our newest partners. And I have to say, it has been a pleasure having you guys on board. Our students gave such tremendous feedback from their experience with your organization. So just want to say thank you and welcome aboard to the family.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. That was a nice welcome. This is my first time here. Very excited to be talking to you all and soon getting to know a little bit more about you. So Wildcard, we are an agency, we're post-production. It's funny because I'm the recruiter there. So I talk to our candidates, potential candidates all day long. And some are like Wildcard when I ask them about if they're familiar with the agency. They do say no. I think most people, they're familiar with our work, but not the people behind it. So, and that's okay. We work with all the major studios in town. A lot of candidates, they actually don't know. They assume that all the major studios, they do their own trailers or their own campaigns, etc. We're actually the people behind it. So it's a very creative environment. And being an agency, it's very fast paced. I think one of the things that set us apart from other agencies in town is that we're very open to entry level. This is why we got into this internship program. We want to make people more aware of this side of the industry, who we are, and the work that we do, and get people excited about this. I think not just internship, but entry level, because we're so fast paced. A lot of agencies, they want someone to hit the ground running. You all heard about that funny thing, like this is an entry level position, but you need to have 10 years of experience. So whenever, and that sometimes we do need someone with 10 years of experience, but whenever we can get a good intern converted into a full-time employee, we are open to that. Our team is very dedicated to take those entry-level position and be that mentor for them, and are willing to train the right person. And when I say the right person, we are looking for those who are very enthusiastic about learning. Maybe not about, you guys are starting off your career, you don't know exactly which line you're taking. I think someone mentioned that, and Ali mentioned that at the beginning, and that's perfectly fine. We're here to guide you and show you our piece of the world and see if this is a good match. I'm going to, and then Wildcard. So we are a trailer house, but we also have our 3 a.m. side. That's, so to speak, our social arm of the agency. So we have lots of different positions available. And we're very excited to see if this could potentially be a good match for you guys with your next internship. I'm going to let Julia take it from here and tell you a little bit more about the internship programs that we're offering. So.
Yeah, thank you, Shadi. Great intro. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about our summer internship. So right now we have about an 8-week program is typically what it is. Last year we did remote. We're hoping, fingers crossed, it can be on site next year, like everyone else, I assume. But we were able to fly people out their final week to do a presentation to us, which was really fun. I know the team really liked that. And so our areas that we really focus on, it's on both sides of the businesses, like Shadi was talking about. We have this Wildcard trailer side of the house, where we have editorial opportunities. So actually being able to cut a TV spot, working with the editors who create that and having a mentor to kind of talk through what that process looks like. We also have motion design opportunities. So if After Effects is your thing and you want to see your graphics in a trailer, we have opportunities to work with those partners and those creatives. On the 3M side, we have copywriting. So those interns are working with our designers and our copywriters, of course, on staff. They're helping lead our social channels actually and influencing what those look like for us, but also looking at what our pitches are internally, what we're working on for our clients, and helping influence what those look like in the final product, which is exciting. And the same with our designers. They're helping out and working with those copywriter interns actually pretty closely to help design those final decks, look at what our designs come to creation wise and just kind of enhance what we might already have. And then additionally, we also have an insight strategy arm. So there's, if research is your thing, it's actually a really good role for someone who's into copywriting as well, because you use a lot of that just kind of creative and emotional art to really learn what, the strategic vision could be for a client and how to reflect that in a pitch. And how we make our interns come together. We actually have a group project that flows through the majority of the internship to kind of create a mini agency inside of our agency. So you'll work with your intern partners to create a presentation deck, work on a trailer, put in the graphics, and then present that to us as the clients to get feedback on what it really feels like to go through the full process of what our agency does, 4 to 5 times a week. That's probably way underselling it. But going through that process with us and getting the feedback as if you were an actual employee and getting feedback from an actual client, us. So that creates really good opportunity to show work on your portfolios in the future, because that's work that you can put on your websites. And just that experience of going through that process as a group, as a team. And then along with those opportunities within the groups, we also have a speaker series that we have for our interns. Because our company is so small and our groups are smaller, those are more intimate settings, which our interns last year really enjoyed, getting to speak with, executives inside our business and outside our business, just to learn more about roles in all forms. Because if Wildcard is not the place, then we want you to know about all the opportunities in the entertainment industry so that you can find that place. That's important to us. Cool.
Awesome. Speaking of your insights team, insight strategy, the young lady who you guys had over there,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we had lunch and she just was like, I am now obsessed with consumer insights, analytics. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I think she ended up with a fall internship with NBC.
I tried to keep her.
I know. So anyway, but again, like what you're saying, and for all of you who are listening, this is the beauty of the program and the variety of organizations that are supporting, the program, because you guys are, gaining experience and insight across so many different business sectors that you can literally, now have a resume that's marketable, that helps you transition and move. But it's like, just seeing, the full breadth of what's out there. And it just warms my heart. I just get so excited. So, I mean, even to hear a young lady didn't even know anything about insights or consumer analytics, none of that. And to go like, this is what I want to do. So anyway, thank you. All right. I'm sorry. I just have to interject because there's certain things that just pop. There's certain students and things happen. Anywho, okay. Who's next? I think we're moving to Tiffany. Yes, Tiffany, it's your turn.
Oh, it's me already. Okay.
Yes, you are ready. But let me, just before this lady starts, okay? I've recently had the pleasure of meeting her, but I have to tell you, like, this lady is a veteran in the industry, you guys have read her bio. So I am honored to have you here. I know that you're now in a new role here with Endeavor Content, but I love all of who you are and what you've done, and what I'm just looking forward to getting to know you more, and I'll let you share what you have to share.
Thank you, Stacy. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I wish I had the opportunities for internship like all of these wonderful individuals. So grateful to be in this space and really share more about Endeavor Content. And I do come from WarnerMedia, so it's good to see some colleagues from there. So I'm happy to be here. As far as Endeavor Content, I will say, and I don't know how much you know of the history of Endeavor Content, but I will kind of give you an overview of that. We fall under the corporate structure of Endeavor. Most people know that pretty much from WME, the talent agency side, but there are several brands under Endeavor: IMG, 160/90, Film 45, and Endeavor Content is the studio production company arm of the company. So we are very much a leader in the development, financing, and sales of television, film, theater, live music, audio content, and pretty much a driver of what we feel is trying to be a leader in 4 areas that are our core values, which is to listen, empower, authenticate, and disrupt. We call ourselves an anti-racist studio, in which we are very, very focused on making sure that we are supporting diverse business owners in the community, content creators, and really making sure that our content is reflected in that. So you may know us from several projects like Just Mercy, United States versus Billie Holiday, C, 9 Perfect Strangers. So we really are very intentional about our content and the things that we are doing from a community landscape. So I'm very happy to be here and really driving the efforts across this entity. I am their new head of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is really working across all areas of the company and really making an impact as far as the work that we're doing in those core areas. So I will say, for our internship program, there is someone else on our team who really leads those efforts, but obviously I wanted to be sure to introduce myself and be here and really be supportive of these efforts and this internship opportunity. I will tell you that our internship program really focuses on the development of inspiring creative and industry professionals. We had 5 internships in total, I believe, last summer. It was a virtual kind of landscape, but we're really looking to have more of a hands-on experience in the future. All interns that we had really gained experience in our creative departments and worked very closely with TV and film production, film advisory, which is our sales area, and also our Endeavor Content documentary team and non-scripted. And so interns were allowed to work alongside all employees at all levels and pretty much learn the concept of the complete life cycle of the film and television development process and all the business entities within that. So we're very excited to actually build out our internship program even more broadly for this coming year because we're having some changes within the company and growing even more so. And so once we hit 2022, this program will actually be expanded even more. So we may have more than 5 interns coming up, which is an exciting thing to really, really focus on. And so our summer internship program, the applications will actually open up in the spring of 2022 for the summer. So definitely keep your eyes open for kind of more of a broad landscape that's going to go across all areas of EC or Endeavor Content, but really excited about building this out even further as we kind of step out on our own.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I know that a lot of our students and past cohorts have been involved with Endeavor Content's Impact, like summer series and those sort of wonderful things where they have different speakers. And we've been really happy to be a part and a partner in that. So love the work that you guys do and just looking forward to continuing to grow it even more. So thank you. All right. Last but certainly not least, my friend, Shauna. Shauna, first of all, I just have to say, I mean, we've been connected since her days at Paramount. And then she went over to Fox and she's like, Stacy, got to get you over here. I'm like, okay. So there we are. But we're both nurturers. We care very much about our students. You know, and I always say I'm known as Mama Stacy throughout the summer. I carry that mantle very proudly, but I think she's probably equal to me in terms of caring about each individual person. The only person I've seen express it in such a way as I do. So Shauna, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Stacy. And just to your point, when Lisa was showing the new website, I saw Michael Foster on the page, and I don't know if you saw me get all excited, one of my former interns. So I'm really happy to be here today. Again, my name's Shauna Namkung. I'm an entry-level and campus recruitment manager at Fox Corporation, and I oversee the campus internship program and also recruit for entry-level positions. So for us, entry-level would be considered anything from 0 to 3 years of experience. Have worked in the internship and campus space for several years. Previously, I was at Paramount Pictures where I managed the program there. Came to Fox last year, March 9th, had 3 days in the office, and I've been in a virtual environment ever since. It was an interesting time to switch companies, but I will tell you, it's been a really great opportunity, and I've had a really, had a lot of success at Fox in terms of being able to navigate moving our internship program from an on-site program into a virtual environment. So we've been primarily virtual the last 4 semesters, starting with last summer. Like Allie and Cameron's programs, we do have year-round programs. So we have a fall, spring, and summer program. The school year programs are 10-week opportunities to join us in all different areas of Fox Corporation, which for us would include Fox Entertainment, which is a partner with the HBCU in LA program. We also have Fox Sports, and we have Fox News Media. Also within the Fox Corporation umbrella is the Fox TV stations. However, they have their own HR and talent acquisition teams and their own programs. So I don't recruit for any of the TV stations, but for the other 3 verticals, we do recruit for those areas, and we do hire interns into those areas. During the summer, it's a little bit different in that it's an 8-week program. During the 8 weeks, interns work a minimum of 32 hours a week. Some will work a full 40-hour week, whereas during the school year, it's a part-time opportunity. Like everybody else, we're trying to figure out how things are going to look for summer, but currently right now for our fall semester, we do have some interns that are working on site in our different offices. It's a small handful of in-person opportunities, but we do have some, and I anticipate that for spring it's going to be similar to fall, but then by summer hopefully we'll have maybe more of like a 50-50 proposition where we have some on-site and some remote. And I will say, probably like everybody else here, being in a virtual environment, there's some things that are not as good as being in person, but what I've found to be really exciting is that we can really open up the participation to so many different campuses and so many different students that are not geographically located by one of our offices. And we've had, just a huge number of people that have been participating that otherwise wouldn't be able to have a school year opportunity at Fox. They're not in Los Angeles, they're not in New York, they're not where any of our bureaus are. And so forth. So it's been great being in this environment, and I hope that going forward that we will have a little bit of both, so that we can really open the doors of participation to a greater group of people than just those who are lucky to be in Los Angeles or New York. And what's great about this program is, if you are able to be in Los Angeles in person, you have the housing component. I remember when I was at Paramount Pictures, we had, I believe, 5 students from the cohort, and they were in housing that was very close close to where our location was, and they really bonded together. They had, a great network together. And like, everybody else has been saying, their programs have master classes, speaker series events, professional development workshops, networking events. Ours are the same, but what's really great, if you're in the HBCU in LA program, you're getting double, because you're getting whatever your host company is providing, and then you're getting a wealth of extra, amazing opportunities to network and to gain industry information. So it's a great program. I have loved working with Stacy. I love working with interns. So I'm really happy to be here today, and just to let you know, our spring internship applications are live right now. We will be open. The deadline to apply is November 14th. Our program will run February 14th through April 22nd. The summer applications will be going live towards the end of this month, and I anticipate the dates for summer to be June 20th through August 12th. So, be sure that if you do apply, in your cover letter, mention that you're part of the HBCU in LA program, because that's going to stand out to me. And hope to have many of you come to Fox next year or during the spring. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. So I know you guys have been listening for a long time. So I traditionally will start asking questions of the panelists, but I feel like, I know that Lisa has received a few questions. So I think what I'm going to do before I do what I traditionally do is I'm going to open it up and let a couple of students ask their questions first, and then I'll circle back with some questions that I have. And then we also have questions that people, when they signed up, they've had added questions. So we kind of pulled some highlight questions that I want to ask as well. But Lisa, why don't we go with a couple of the students that have already put questions into you?
Sure. So these are a mix of questions about the program and for recruiters. So the first question, I think, can be for both, is from Sequoia. Let me know if I pronounced that wrong or correct.
You pronounced it correct.
Look at God. Awesome.
Hello, my name is Sequoia, and I attend Jackson State University. My question was, my major is sociology, so I wanted to know how I will be able to play a part in the industry with that major.
Awesome. Which one of you wonderful recruiters want to take on that one? Sociology major, how does that relate? How does that transition? Can they think about an internship in the entertainment industry?
I'll go ahead and I'll start with an answer for that. Sequoia, thank you for asking the question. I will honestly tell you, and I'll give you a little bit of background on myself, is that I fell into this industry. It was not my plan. Honestly, I'm a fan of television, but I wasn't looking to be a creative or to work in this industry, honestly. I actually have, I went to school for communications, and I went for a master's in social work. So when you say sociology, that immediately rang a bell for me. But I landed in this industry and have learned a great skill set that I must honestly say is crucial and beneficial. Working in legal, working in production throughout my career, which came full circle for where I am as kind of leading these DEI efforts, because I'm a social worker at heart. So I will honestly tell you that based off your major, I wouldn't restrict yourself from considering any kind of opportunities in this industry if they do interest you, because do believe that that sociology degree will be very impactful and helpful driving any kind of business, whether it's creative or whether it's a business function within this industry. I think it's actually very applicable.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Anybody want to add to that? I thought that was a great answer. Nope. Oh, she did good. All right, Lisa, let's do one more, and then I'll ask a couple of the other questions.
Okay, great. We have Cameron Marshall.
Hello, my name is Cameron. I'm currently a graduating senior at Florida A&M University. And my question, well, it would be for all the recruiters. I've applied to different opportunities and haven't had much luck. So I wanted to ask, what specific things do you guys look for in a resume? Like what stands out to you? And do you guys actually read cover letters? Is that necessary? Or do you think it's just like too much of your time?
I'm happy to take a stab at this. So in terms of resumes, especially for early career and or interns, I mean, this might be your first opportunity to have a job within your field of study. So, we're not looking for a wealth of past experience, although, depending on circumstances, some interns will have had several intern opportunities by the time I see their resume. Sometimes they've had other roles within retail or food service or those type of industries. What I'm personally looking for is, a resume that's, simple and clean and straightforward, free of errors and typos, and so forth. And if you don't have a lot of past experience, then I'm looking for things that might be translatable, such as, coursework that you've taken that relates to positions that I'm looking to hire into, leadership opportunities, different things that you participate with at school, different clubs, activities, organizations, and so forth. So those are some of the things I look for. And I will tell you, I used to not really look at cover letters, but because there's so many different opportunities that I'm hiring for, that sometimes the cover letter is helpful. Just so I know that, like, let's say, for example, you're a finance major and maybe you're really interested in a production opportunity. Well, maybe you create your own content, you have your own YouTube channel, or you do different things that are related that's not necessarily a job that you've had. Putting some of that information in a cover letter can be really helpful to tell the story of, what you're interested in and why you would be a good fit for some of our positions. So those are just some things from me, but I'm sure that other recruiters have some great tips as well.
Yeah, I'll jump in here too. Cameron, a great name. So for me, just going to touch on the cover letters piece. I personally love to see brand knowledge and company knowledge in the cover letter. I think the cover letter, there's so many opinions out there about it, right? But really, it's just another tool for you to use. And for me, I think it's the company knowledge and brand knowledge is really something that you can showcase there, especially when so many of our companies, right, they're very brand centric, and the entertainment industry in general is, you kind of got to do your research and know what these companies have done and who they're working with. So if you can showcase that there, then I think that's a great use of the cover letter.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, I'll piggyback off that as well. I think tailoring your resume to the job that you're looking for. I see a lot of, resumes that come in with multiple internships. So for me, it's really highlighting, if you're going to put a cover letter, add it with your resume, have, a CV that actually reflects upon those particular internships that are specific for it. So if you're a film major, if you're a theater major, if you're a music major, having the tailored resume and information that describes exactly, your role and responsibilities, whether it was you partaking in, leading a particular concert on campus or putting out a certain publication for your newsletter, really just emphasizing those areas. So that way, us as recruiters can really look and highlight those areas, because we do see a lot of resumes and we do read through them. So we want to make sure that, the great knowledge that you guys have, that you have partaken in, we want to make sure that we can actually reflect and see it on your resume as well.
And just a last thing I'd add for the creatives on the call who have experience in particular programs, After Effects, Premiere, InDesign, make sure to highlight that on your resume. Part of when we look at our creative roles, having some knowledge coming in can make you stand out just alone, your interest in that program.
Excellent. That's one of the things that I often tell students, that I think this generation they don't really think about it, right? They know all these different things and they've grown up with that. But when they put their skills, they have a tendency to leave all of that off. And I'm like, no, you got to make sure you put that in there. So having those things on there is really, really helpful. So excellent. I love those answers. Okay. And great question. Thank you. So here's a question that came in earlier from the survey that we put out. The question is, what advice would you have for aspiring entertainment lawyers? And how can you better narrow your studies in law towards media? Any takers?
Well, I'll jump in because I have had JD students in our programs, both at Fox and at Paramount. And I would say, you know, get involved in different entertainment organizations and different entertainment coursework that you can at school. You know, a lot of the entertainment companies do have JD internships. So, you know, definitely look for those. Fox generally has a handful of legal students in the program. I know Paramount Pictures always has quite a few. I'm sure some of the other other companies here do as well. If you really want to go into entertainment law, you know, there's a few different avenues. You might be, you know, practicing it privately or, you know, at a firm. If you want to become in-house at a studio, then generally what they will like is to see that you have worked at a firm for a year or two and then transfer over into the studio environment. Although at Paramount, there were some you know, professionals that started out as legal assistants and then did work their way up that didn't work in firms. But, you know, it's interesting. Like, it's similar to if you're going into certain creative roles, a lot of creative opportunities, they would like to have you have a couple of years of agency experience first. And you can never go wrong by having agency experience if you're going into creative opportunities. But I would just say look for different roles that are geared for JD students within entertainment, and you'll really get a lot of insight into where you can, you know, head after your internship is over and moving into a, you know, full-time career after graduation.
Excellent. Anybody else going to add? No? Yes? No? All right. So I will also add to this and say, we realized that there was a lot of students applying for our program that are like 2Ls, 3Ls coming in. And so we have been fortunate enough, we announced, I think it was last week, we partnered with the Motion Picture Association out of Washington, DC, and we are launching, and our application is actually live now for our MPA ECOP Entertainment Law and Policy Fellowship. It is a year-long program, which is geared for those who are recent graduates. So if you graduated spring, if you know anybody in your network, because I know a lot of you guys aren't there, but I just want to put this out there. So spring 20 to spring 2022, those are the students that would be eligible, and they can be a poli-sci major, pre-law, or an actual law school graduate and be a part of this year-long program. And again, the program will provide you with housing, a hefty pay stipend, professional development, networking with firms, and all these other things. So, so that's something that we realize that there's a lot more interest there. And so we are doing some work with the MPA and obviously working with the 6 HBCU law schools to drive this program, and also working with our Hispanic serving institutions. So that's just something that's, you know, out there on the horizon that we're looking to launch summer 2022, in addition to HBCU in LA. So law school students, there's a lane for you, definitely. All right. I think you guys kind of already answered that question. So let me ask this one. So this is a program, a question I think for me. So is this program open to graduate students who attended an HBCU for undergraduate, but are now continuing school at a PWI or a different institution? Yes and yes. While, you know, any HBCU graduate, they've gone on. We've even had students in our program that have done their undergraduate and they're doing their graduate studies at a PWI. Those students are still eligible. We are open to diverse candidates, period. It is HBCU in LA because that's our flagship. That's how we started this, but it's always been open to students, not only from HBCUs, but Hispanic serving institutions and other minority serving schools. So we are trying to reach the entire population of diverse candidates that have not been represented in this industry. So answer to your question, it was long, but yes. So that's that one. So I'm going to ask this question this way. I'm going to reword this just a little bit. So how can an internship help a student gain confidence in their creativity and their artistry in such a competitive field? How do internships help them gain confidence in their creativity and artistry in such a competitive field? Well, I will say this, and then I'll let a professional answer, but I will say based on our program, oh my goodness. Okay. First of all, students will come into this program very kind of sheepishly, like, you know, they don't quite have all their confidence there. We love on you. We create this community. We empower you. We put you into a space and you watch yourself thrive. Case in point, young man that Shauna pointed out, who Paramount had in their post-production team. Very quiet, shy. By the end of the summer, shoulders were back. And there's just, I don't know how to tell you what it is, but it's just, I think it's the support. And I think Ali hit on it in the very beginning, that you step into a space where we want you to succeed. And so getting that confidence and having people behind you and cheering for you, advocating for you, you just step away with a whole new level of confidence, both from a professional side, but also from a creative side. I mean, I watch our student filmmakers come into this thing thinking, oh, about the sexy roles they could have, and then realizing all the work that goes into it, but then getting all the professional support that they need, that, man, they're ready to talk in a whole nother space now. So I think it adds tremendous value. Anytime you're put into a place that stretches you, where you get to gain more knowledge, education, and just grow and expand, it always leads to you being more confident in whatever you decide to do, I think.
I would agree, and to piggyback off of what Stacy just said, I also think that internships too are what you make them, and to really be mindful and to use that time wisely. So it can be a season or a time in which you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, but I do say, you know, internship is what you make it. So try your best to communicate and navigate and network, ask questions, really, you know, be inquisitive and use it as a learning process, and really just a growing and educational time, because I think those are the interns that stand out, are the ones who are very engaged, and really, really, you can tell, want to be there. So I think it's also to what you make of it.
Excellent.
Yes, and to Tiffany's point as well, I think it's a platform for you to be able to network, but also to be able to meet some of your potentially future bosses, right? Entertainment is about who you know and keeping very good relationships. So ask a lot of questions, take the time to really learn and absorb, but also to be able to, you know, reach out to those in your cohort or in your department and ask those questions that maybe you just did not have the answers or you're curious about. I think it's just great to be curious during this time.
And it's a way. Oh, go ahead, Tiffany.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just saying it's a way to, you know, possibly meet your future bosses, like Erica just said, but to also meet possibly your peers who could be across this industry that you can grow with as well. And, you know, you can get to a certain stage and you can say, oh, I remember when we were both interns. So it's working across and also working, you know, laterally too. Laterally and vertically. Sorry, Ali.
No, you're totally good. I was going to say, in addition to, you know, what Tiffany and Erica mentioned, I think it's also being open to that feedback and coaching, right? I think, you know, back to my earlier point, like internships are learning opportunities, and you're going to be working alongside someone who, you know, has chosen that path as a career, right? And so they have so much knowledge, you know, to teach you. And so just be open to that, right? Like be open to a different way of thinking and doing, you know, and be flexible and adaptable. And I think, you know, that will like build your confidence, right? And I would say, you know, after you receive feedback and coaching, like follow up on that. You want to know that, you know, you're making progress and that you're doing great. And so that's just kind of what I would add from my own perspective.
Great advice. All right, Lisa, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, great. Our next question is going to come from Lynette Richardson.
Thank you, Lisa. Hello, everyone. I'm Lynette Richardson, a 3L student at Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And my question is more geared toward the non-traditional students, as I am a non-traditional student, meaning we had a previous career and then went back to school. I don't want to say I'm pivoting, but I'd like to think that I'm expanding my scope as I'm in law school now, and my background is in gaming. So my question is more along the lines of when we are applying for internships, what are your thoughts or feelings on when we apply to more than one internship within your organization? Because maybe our skill set is in more than one place and we have interest in, like for myself, finance and law. So sometimes I'm kind of lean toward both of them, but I don't know how that's received on the other end.
I can answer that one. For me, that's where the cover letter comes in. You can tell that this is me, this is where I'm coming from, these are my interests. I would be interested, instead of seeing the same person like applying to multiple. For me, if I don't see why they're doing that, it just seems that they're just trying to get their foot in and they don't have a genuine interest. Whereas if I see that in your cover letter and you explain, this is why, these are my interests. So I would like to be considered for this position, but I'm also very much interested in this position. So that would make total sense to me.
And I'll jump in there too. I agree completely with those points on the cover letter. And just to piggyback on that with resumes, you can also create resumes for every application you do, or have a finance resume, have a law resume. So you're highlighting those skills that are more particular to those areas. That can help. And then also, just because I know you mentioned the number of applications you put in, I think, kind of that sweet spot is maybe 5 to 8, positions. If they're all related, getting your core interests kind of identified. You don't want to be applying to all sorts of different positions. And next thing you know, you have 50 different applications in, because we see that. And then we think, well, maybe you don't really know what you want to do. So definitely identify, what those core areas you are that you're interested in, and then identify those positions, and make those individual resumes to really reflect those positions and highlight those skills for those positions.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, our next question is going to come from Trevene Williams.
Hello, everyone. My name is Trevene Williams. I'm a junior honors journalism major and playwriting minor from Jamaica, and I'm a student at Howard University. And it's funny, I think I may have gotten a few answers for my question based on the question that Lynette just asked, but I'm going to ask it nonetheless. This is more for the recruiters. What are your thoughts on students who may not have narrowed down the specific track in the industry they want to go into? As hiring managers and recruiters, are you less receptive to someone who might have multiple interests?
I'll answer that for you. I am totally receptive to people with multiple interests, and I think that an internship is a really great way for you to be able to try out different things. And so, you might be interested in 3 or 4 different areas of the business. Maybe you're interested in production, you're also interested in ad sales, and you're interested in finance. Taking an internship in one of those areas will really help you decide if you really do have that interest and if it's something that you want to do long term. Or you may try it and feel like, oh, this isn't really what I thought it was, but I'm glad I tried it so that I know. And then you move on to the next area of interest. And I think also too that sometimes with interns, having an open mind to where the recruiter thinks you might be a great fit. Like we may see something on your resume and know that you would be perfect for a particular department that you might not have even heard of before. So I think, having that open mind both on the recruiter side and on the, intern side, will be very helpful. And I think, take advantage of any opportunity that you have to learn and see if you like something, because that's going to help you, once you're out of school and deciding what you'd like to do long term.
Thank you so much. That was very helpful.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, our last question is going to come from Malaysia Pleasant.
Hi, my name is Malaysia Pleasant. I'm a senior screenwriting and animation major at Morgan State University. And my question was, for your resume, besides the traditional experience and education sections, what sections stand out to you on like personal interests I've heard, or even for skills? And if I can plug, I'm interested in like development. So in that section, what skills would you like that will stand out to you for that track?
Uh-oh, I think you stumped them.
I can jump in here. So I would say for personal interest, I always get a kick out of the personal interest section because I've seen some really creative entries there. So, if you can find some way to, stand out just a little bit with a, unique interest that you have, I think that makes the recruiter remember you a little bit. And then also, I'm going to go back to that brand knowledge, company knowledge. If you're a movie buff, maybe throw in, love watching movies from, or TV shows from that company, right? Like that's an opportunity to throw in a little bit of company knowledge there too. And then the skills, I know we talked a little bit about it before too, but definitely list all those skills, that you may not think to list, right? Microsoft Office, list out Excel, and Word, because a lot of times I see people list, let's say, Adobe Creative Suite, but maybe the position asks for Photoshop experience. So me as a recruiter, when I'm that initial stage, when I'm going in there, let's say with keywords, and I'm searching Photoshop, you might not come up because you're listing Adobe Creative Suite. So I say be descriptive, list out those individual programs when you can.
Excellent. All right, so here's another question that came in. What is the best way to go about entering the media and entertainment field as a recent college grad with little to no experience? Because I know internships is the key, experience is the key. I don't know.
I'm happy to jump in here. I would say, look for maybe like rotational programs, right? I think a lot of companies have, those entry-level rotational programs that maybe you didn't have the opportunity to intern or, gain experience, throughout college. Maybe you had to work another job or whatever that might be, right? Like everyone's kind of on their own path. But I know specifically at NBCU, we have a lot of entry-level rotational programs. Yes, Lisa, like the PAGE program. Shout out to the PAGE program and Lisa. So I think, those types of experiences are really great, right? Because a lot of times, like they are just what their name says, right? Rotational. So it also provides that learning component as well. So you can really kind of dive into which areas do I really want to be in, right? So at NBCU, you get to explore 3 different areas of the company through the PAGE program. And so this can be everything from production development to marketing to like news, right? Or you're experiencing production in 3 different business units to figure out where you want to be, so it really does span a wide variety of opportunity, but that's kind of what I would suggest so that you're still getting to explore, but you're also getting that experience at the same time.
Great. Last question. What mistakes have you seen that typically are the most common mistakes that people make when they are in the recruitment process? Whether that's the mistakes they make during the interviews, what they may do at any point of the process. What are, some of the pitfalls that I think, we can tell this group, don't make these mistakes. And if you guys want to take a stab at that, that would be great, since they're getting ready for this process.
I got 2 real quick.
I would say, go ahead. Go ahead, Karen.
Sorry, yeah, I'll just jump in my 2. So the file format of how you submit your resume, do a PDF. That's going to be the easiest way for the system to read and show your resume, cover letter, whatever it is, PDFs. And 2, if you have any links on your resume or cover letter to your portfolio, your social media, make sure you're checking those links all the time. And it kills me every time I click a link and it doesn't go anywhere. So check the links and save in PDF.
These are you all's pet peeves. Okay, so come on. I think Allie, you've got to have one. Shauna, you got to have one.
All right, I'll go really quick. I think it's just making sure you do your research appropriately on that particular organization. I mean, at this point in technology, we have LinkedIn. So do your best and your due diligence to make sure that you can research not only the company, but if you're going to speak with a specific hiring manager, maybe do some background work and look at their background, their information, so you can assimilate, excuse me, on some of the areas that you can touch on that particular interview. So you guys have a common point to help out.
Awesome. And I'm just going to say this real quick because you mentioned that. So there was a colleague, one of the studios, like, Stacy, I'm so excited to interview so-and-so, fellow Bison, right? And so I'm like, great. So she said she got in the interview and they hadn't even taken the time to realize that the person they were interviewing was also an alum of the same institution. She said, oh, so hey, welcome, fellow Bison. She goes, oh, you're a Bison? And she's like, at that point, I didn't listen anymore. The interview was over. I was like, oh my God. But those, like you said, doing your research and knowing who people are, I think that is so, so important. And I think, Cameron, you mentioned about the brand and the company. You know, people talk about certain product and it's like, that's not us. That's the other one. It's like, make sure you know, you know the stuff. So anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to throw that.
I just have to piggyback my second one as well. I really want to make sure you guys write down your questions for the interview process. That's just so essential. Coming into an interview and you don't have any questions as a newcomer into this world of workplace is odd. So make sure you have some questions, whether it's about the culture, the day in the life and experience, the first 30 days or the first, 4 weeks of the program. Really doing your research to understand if this is going to be a good fit for you can actually take you very far in your workplace life or your interview process.
Shadi, do you have any?
Yeah, I was going to say, come prepared, but don't be scared to ask those questions, because a job description, etc., your research is not going to, don't be afraid. Not everything is listed in those job descriptions. Not everything is found on LinkedIn, etc. Ask those questions. We want to make sure that, and I always tell my candidates, an interview process goes both ways. We want to make sure this is a good fit for you as well.
Great. Anybody else want to add anything before we wrap it up? No.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in with one more thing about the, questions. I think during an interview process, it could feel like you're asking people the same questions, right, over and over again if you have like multiple interviews. But that's okay, right? It might be repetitive for you, but it's not for that person. And I think it's important to understand that people are kind of thinking and feeling the same way, right? Like you pick up on culture things like that, right? Like, and it's a two-way, interview process. So I would say keep asking the questions, find those commonalities for sure. And just really be authentic. Don't tell us what you think we want to hear, but tell us, how we can really help you. I think the more we know, the more we can help. And just really bring your authentic self to the interviews.
I love it. It's a great way to end. So this has been really informative. I hope you guys have picked up some nuggets. You got some ways now to kind of really stand out. You've got some resume advice. And you've heard from all these amazing organizations. And, like they said, they have some spring opportunities available. We want to see you apply early in the portal. This is the first, or was this our second session, Lisa? I lost track. Anyway, we have some more coming up. And I think the next one is really, really exciting because we are bringing our alumni. We have so many alumni that are working and thriving in the business. And we've got a great panel lined up for you guys to hear from those that have been in the program. not only their experience with HBCU in LA, but their experience with our host companies, and just to share all the great nuggets. I think it's always a favorite. I know when we have them here in person, I think I get bombarded with, I want to be on that panel. I'm going to be on that panel next year. Wait a minute. But anyway, we have a lot of fun. So make sure you sign up for that one and get in on it. I look forward to meeting you guys on paper and hopefully in person. And to all of my partners, thank you guys. We couldn't do this work without your support, without your commitment. And thank you for showing up tonight, and have a wonderful evening. And all of you who showed up, I know it's really late back where a lot of you are. So I appreciate you taking the time and showing up for us today. So thank you guys. Have a good one.
You guys can unmute and say bye if you want.
Yeah, you can unmute and say goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was greatly
Thank you.
appreciated.
Everyone.
I love it.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.